Good evening. Here is the world news from BGI TV Current. First are the headlines. National Social Register developed by states. NASCO replies NEC. Ghost workers will have saved 1.2 billion naira after cleaning payroll. Governor Alia. Ex-Edo Speaker clears air on secret cult membership. Yoruba Nation agitator Sunday Igboho loses mother. And on sports, CAF hails Nnadozie as Super Falcons' savior. Now, the news in detail. The National Social Safety Net Coordinating Office, NASCO, says the country's social register is an aggregation of state registers. In a tweet on Friday, the office said the Plateau State and Federal Capital Territory (FCT) built the register. The National Social Register is an aggregation of state registers built by each of the 36 states and the FCT, NASCO tweeted. States build the register using a community-based targeting approach undertaken by targeting teams and enumerators engaged by state and overseen by their ministries of planning. NASCO and the NBS Nigeria work collaboratively on a number of fronts around poverty, most notably on the National Living Standards Survey, NLSS. NASCO's positions comes a day after the National Economic Council, NEC, faulted the nation's social register while deliberating on palliative measures for Nigerians. The NEC, presided over by Vice President Kashim Shettima, resolved to dub the document compiled under former President Muhammadu Buhari for lacking credibility. Instead, the Council proposed the implementation of a cash transfer program for states based on their social registers and a cash reward policy for public servants for 6 months. In 2016, the federal government established the National Social Investment Program, NSIP, to address short-term and long-term socio-economic imbalances and inequality. Benue State Governor, Reverend Father Isent Alia, says his administration has saved 1.2 billion naira following the recent staff verification exercise conducted on civil servants. The governor made a disclosure on Friday during an extraordinary stakeholders meeting of the ruling All Progressive Congress (APC) in the state. Information records that the state government had on Thursday revealed that about 2,500 ghost workers were uncovered across the 23 local government areas of the state. Speaking during the meeting on Friday, the governor stated that after successfully conducting the first phase of the verification exercise, some fraudulent acts were identified and eliminated from state's payroll. He said, from what we used to go to ghost schools and ghost workers, which stood at 1.6 billion naira, government has brought it down to 800 million naira. He further announced that the teachers whose 2-month salaries were being delayed as a result of the audit have started receiving a lot of their salaries. Move to the next story. A former speaker of the Edo State House of Assembly, Francis Okie, as the bond claims that he belongs to a cult group, warning political detractors to desist from a smear campaign meant to tarnish his image. Okie, in a statement, expressed worry over a viral social media report allegedly sponsored by his political opponent against him ahead of the Edo 2024 governorship election. The People's Democratic Party, PDP member, said a video on YouTube and other social media platforms where he was alleged to be a member of a cult group sponsoring killings in the state was not only embarrassing but also a lie from the pit of hell. The trending report is false, vicious and malicious statement targeted at damaging my personality and my 2024 governorship ambition. I have occupied public office since 2003 as a member of the Edo State House of Assembly and becoming a one-time majority leader, later Deputy Chief of Staff. The governor listened to the Edo State House of Assembly and then the Speaker. Throughout this period, I was never associated with any cult group. Okie warned those behind the defamatory publication to immediately retract it within 7 days or face the consequences of the law. On a sad one, Yoruba Nation agitator Sunday Adeyemo, popularly known as Sunday Igboho, has lost his mother to the cold hand of death. Igboho spokesperson Olayomi Koiki disclosed this via his Twitter handle on Saturday, July 22nd, 2023. I can confirm today, Saturday 22nd, 2023, July, that Dr. Chief Sunday Adeyemo, popularly known as Sunday Igboho, mother died, he tweeted. The details of her death is however unknown as of the time of filing this report. Sunday, who has been in exile since 2021, was unable to see his mother before her death, and it is not certain if he will be available for her burial. Delta State Governor Sheriff Rrør has charged the State Board of Internal Revenue Service to exceed 95 billion naira target of the expected IGR for 2023 budget by expanding the state tax nets through bringing in more businesses in the informal sector. The governor gave the charge during the inauguration of the chairman and executive directors of the board in Asaba, the Delta State capital. From available statistics, Delta State ranked fourth in this year's internally generated revenue for the fourth quarter. At this inauguration of the members of the State Board of Internal Revenue, Governor Sheriff, who appreciates its achievements, charged them to exceed their target. The governor says his administration will account for every money that accrues to it by ensuring that they are well spent on meaningful developmental projects that will positively impact on the living conditions of people. Members of the new board, led by its chairman, are full of appreciation and pledge to accomplish the objective. The Deputy Governor, Monday Onyeme, served as the chairman of the last board and would want his successor to surpass his achievement that earned him recognition. A military operation in Plateau State, codenamed Operation Akorin Damisa the fourth, has been launched by the Nigerian Army. Akorin Damisa means leopard's teeth when translated. The Chief of Army Staff, Major General Tøùgh Labaja, who launched the new operation in Mangu local government area of the state on Saturday, said the aim was specifically to end the spate of attacks and killing in the LGA and other parts of the state. Information reported in the last 2 months, more than 300 persons had been killed in Mangu LGA and the neighboring communities, following a series of attacks by herdsmen. After addressing troops deployed to carry out the operation, the Chief of Army Staff moved to a pilot primary school in the community to have a meeting with stakeholders. South African authorities are concerned there could be a second explosion in Johannesburg Business District after 1 person died and 48 were injured in a last blast on Wednesday. Video shows a main road splits wide open from the force of explosion, with several vehicles blown on to the other part. It is still unclear what led to the blast, but officials suspect an underground gas pipeline is responsible. Officials have pleaded with the public to stay clear of the area. The scene at Rrør Street is still being treated as a potential risk area. Emergency services remain there and people are being evacuated where necessary. Several streets have been closed to traffic and electricity supply in the area has been sealed off, and in what is usually one of the busiest parts of South Africa's commercial hub, Rrør Streets. Finally, sport news. Confederation of African Football, CAF, has described Chiamaka Nnadozie as the Super Falcons savior in their opening game at the 2023 FIFA Women's World Cup. In Friday's Group B game in Melbourne, a resolute Falcons side held Olympic champions Canada to a goalless draw. Nnadozie was brilliant for the Falcons as she made an important save in the one-side tie. The 22-year-old then capped her super performance with a 58th-minute penalty save. Praising the shot stopper for her choice, CAF wrote on the women's football Twitter handle, Super Falcons savior. Chiamaka Nnadozie excelled in our Nations World Cup opener with a saved penalty, a clean sheet, and a Player of the Match award. Nnadozie will hope to help the Falcons overcome co-host Australia in their second group game on Thursday, July 27th. With our sports story, we've come to the end of today's World News from BGI TV Current. I am Morire Rabila Lawa. Some headlines. National Social Register developed by state, NASCO, replies NEC. Ghost workers will have saved 1.2 billion naira after cleaning payrolls, Governor Alia. Ex-Edo Speaker Claire Air on Result Secret Court membership. Yoruba Nation agitator Sunday Igboho loses mother. On sports, CAF hails Nnadozie as Super Falcons savior. Our YouTube handle, that BGI TV Current. Kindly subscribe and click on the notification bell. Select option all to access all of our broadcasts. On Facebook, Bagede Imo with Alawi Adebayo. Please like and follow the page. For advert placement of your goods and services, coverage of events and functions, please dial the phone number streaming on your screen. Thank you for watching. I am Morire.